Yo, bro. So I've got my brother Andy from London on today's talk. I'm excited to have you online, bro. How you doing?
Hey, long time coming, bro. I'm happy to be catching up with you, and I've got so many things I want to even ask you as well. And I know the same. You've got bare questions for me as well. So let's get into it.
I know. I don't. I've got this timer, but I don't think it's fair to use this because me and you talk forever, and there's going to be so much valuable content. So to be honest, I'm not going to include this today. I'm going to put it
It looks
there,
good though.
but
It looks good.
it
It
looks good
looks
as part
good.
of the prop. But I think we should just talk, and you know what I mean. If we talk for an hour, then we talk for an hour, brother. So let's go.
Let's get it. Let's get it. So the first question I wanted to ask you is that I've noticed, and I know you probably have too, that during this coronavirus, everyone's suddenly becoming a content creator, and everyone's doing the webinars. Everyone's trying to launch an online course. Everyone's trying to do IG live. Too much, too much. Everyone's trying to do IG live. And more times, everyone's talking about the same thing. They're all talking about coronavirus. They're all talking about self-isolation. They're talking about the same topics. Like, I think it's important for you to remind people that you can't become an overnight content creator. Do you know what I mean? You can't become overnight 50K followers. It takes time. And a lot of the people that we're hearing like are bussing, like this Claire London with the gym, with the home workouts, she has 9,000 followers. She's built up a mailing list. She's built up an audience. She didn't just flip this overnight. So can you touch a little bit more about, like, as a content creator, how you should be a patient creator rather than just rushing and feeling like I'm going to be an overnight celebrity and take advantage of the crisis just because everyone's at home?
Exactly. So 100% I'm happy you brought that to the discussion because there should be an end game. There should be an end goal. Too many people are thinking short term. And use that example of the gym girl that has over 90,000 followers. She's been in the game for years, being consistent, giving free content. That is why it's easy for her to then say, you know what, guys, there's been high engagement. So many people have subscribed to this. Clearly now there's a need for this. There's no gym. People used to spend how much? £40, $50 for a gym membership. Okay, you know what? Why don't I charge half that price, but still be able to offer my services to you every day? Who would say no to that? Especially with someone that is experienced, has proven themselves year on year. So for me, people like that have the expertise and now want to offer a service for a fair price, which is most important, then I think it's great. I think it's great for the industry and it shows it can be done. But the negative side of it is that, yes, there's a lot of people that are starting out in the game that see that, get excited and see dollar signs or pound signs and think, oh my God, I could do the same thing as well. But no, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. It takes time. People don't see all the work that takes place in the background. They just see the end results and they think, oh my God, I can monetize on this. You have to be very careful and you want it to be authentic as well to you. I said, look, let's just use a cooker, for example. Imagine you are someone that loves cooking at home. You're known for that. All of a sudden you say, you know what? I want to be able to cook every night. I'm going to go on live and offer my menu, share what I'm going to cook, and you can follow the recipe. That would be dope. I would love that because if I said to myself, I want to actually learn something new, I would want to learn that. But I would only want to do that with someone that's actually been doing it for years and has a history of being able to cook amazing food.
And I want to add to that as well because people are not good at doing the maths. Do you know what I mean? This lady has 90,000 followers. She charged £15. 4,000 people bought it. And yes, she got 60K, but that's about 4%. That's 4% of her followers.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be thinking about monetizing if we're starting to create content. We should be thinking about delivering value and being of value. And through doing that, gaining trust so that we become a trusted advisor and therefore we can start building an audience because you trust me enough now to give me your email address so I have a direct relationship with you or your phone number. Do you know what I mean? And I think people should be smarter in the planning and sowing seeds, knowing that the season will come again for me to harvest. I don't have to rush it now. Just take time with it.
Talking about you, Andy, though, obviously you are a startup guru. Anything in the startup VC world, you're the man. And now that you're working from home, how's it been for you, firstly? And two, I would love to dig into the impact for startups. What are some of the things that you've noticed for people that have started their businesses?
It's a
what are
great
some of
question.
the things that you've noticed?
It's a great question. So, for myself personally, I'm not afraid of being honest and transparent and keeping it 100. Like at first, it was a struggle because I've got a 2-year-old daughter and I live at home with my partner, and I have to balance being present at home and not being distracted or think about work, but being fully present at home. So I'm giving the attention to my family, but then switching context at home and then going into working and doing deep work and almost like ignoring my family and being in a space where I can actually do my work. So at first it was a struggle for me because I didn't want to accept the fact that I can't be as productive at work at home. All of us globally are going through this together, and it's actually okay not to be as productive because no one else is, and the expectation should be lowered because I'm not in the office, I'm at home, and we're all going through this crisis. So how can I be productive when my child has to stay home as well? So now I've just accepted that, you know what, there's only so much work I can do, and that's okay, you know? Where I've seen some business owners and even some individuals that live alone, especially people that live alone or people that fear that they're not going to leave their job, overcompensating. And what they're doing is they're working more hours and they're going in too much with the work. And then as a result, they're making really poor decisions on low energy when that's not worth it. And what's helped me as well is that I've really reconnected with myself, with my family, and with my priorities. So now I'm being more ruthless around what I'm prioritizing. Like, I don't have time to just have this coffee meeting with someone anymore. In fact, I don't have time to have this meeting for you to just show me your products. No, now I'm focused on the things that really matter. And I'm being ruthless and I'm saying no even more than ever. And I was saying to a founder the other day that, like, they should put their ego aside and put their pride aside. And it's okay for them to say that, you know what, I can't actually run this business right now. I need to go and get a job just so that financially I'm going to be okay through this period. And when I come out of this period, I can then think about starting my business up again or doing something different. Put pride aside, bro. This is about survival. If you're from the roads or from the streets and you've been a hustler and you grew up like that, you know you've got to do what you got to do to get bread and survive when it's hard times. And this is survival time right now. It's not a time for that adventure and that showing off on social media. There's no panels, bro. There's no events right now to go and speak at. So right now, you need to keep it 100 with yourself and just go in, get your bread, and look after you and your family, fam. That's the time that we're in right now, and people need to understand that.
Yeah, and what would you say are some of your priorities now? That, like, some of the things you mentioned that you've had to prioritize. What would you say?
Yeah, so with a lot of the startups, a lot of the conversation has been around, like, how do you cut your costs? What's non-essential? You know, imagine your personal costs, like someone's paying for Sky Movies or your, what do you call it, cable TV in America and Netflix, and that's non-essential. But it's the same way with your company. With your company, there's certain non-essential costs that you're paying for this software, that software. You don't really need that, you know. For this, you can use Zoom for free for 45 minutes. Now's the time to cut your cost and take advantage of free software. Okay, now's your time to really think, all right, out of all of the people that I've got that are employees, how can I first make sure that they're safe? Secondly, understand their financial position, and then just be transparent and honest with them. Like, if you cannot afford to keep them, have that conversation and say that. The last one that I'm telling founders and business owners is that, like, you're not building this business for yourself. You're building it to solve a problem for customers. So go and speak to your customers and find out what their urgent problems are right now, because there's so many assumptions that you need to validate all over again. So before, you knew how to reach customers, you knew your business model, you knew your product, you knew so many things that you had validated. Now all of that has changed because we're in this crisis and people are thinking different and there's different priorities. Do you know what I mean? That's why toilet roll was going out of, that's why toilet roll was getting sold out, because we have different priorities right now. So a lot of business owners need to go and validate that and test that and figure out, okay, how can I be relevant for my customer again? And it might mean changing how you're approaching your customer, you know, or changing your service or changing your product temporarily to survive this period. And you need to put pride aside to be able to do that.
Okay, how does someone that runs, so this is, I know people in this situation, people that run a subscription company and it's a monthly service, they receive products or a type of service every month. A lot of people are now seeing a lot of people coming off the subscription because obviously they have to prioritize the financial
it's not
stuff.
priority.
If you're a business owner, that's not good for you. So how do you overcome things? What are some of the things you would suggest they do? Because obviously you understand the customers.
It's a great question. So one thing they should do, and this isn't going to bring you money in the short term, but long term is worth it, is they need to create content so that they create more awareness about their brand, so that people feel like this is a go-to brand and I want to do business with them when I can afford to. Okay, so when I come out of this crisis, for example, there's a brand called Trim It that I invested in who do mobile barbershop. They drive around in a van and give you a haircut, regardless if you're at the gym or if you're at home or wherever you are at work. And right now they can't cut hair because you can't make physical contact with people. But I'm encouraging them to create content so they create awareness, so that people are aware of who they are, so that when we finish this crisis, people will say, I want to go to trimmer. I don't want to go to my barber shop anymore. You see that? That's a long-term investment, that content. That's smart. That's thinking long-term and not just thinking transactional for today. Okay? The truth is, with a lot of these subscription businesses, though, they need to think about, how can I survive this period so that I can make it out the other side and get back up again, you know, and then be proactive with communication. Like, keep it transparent.
Communication is the key.
It's so important. Right now is the time to be transparent. Yet be authentic and even over communicate. Share what you're going through. Share that it's hard for you. Don't lie. Don't, just be honest and keep it 100. And people will empathize with that. And not just your employees, but your customers. You need to be proactive with communicating to, and any key partners or investors. All of them are key stakeholders. You need to communicate transparently with all of them.
Yeah. And talking about the power of communication is that I'll use an example of me and Jackie's gym membership. My gym did not communicate with us, have not said anything about our membership being on pause. Jackie's gym is like, hey, we're going to put it on pause. You understand it's difficult times. Don't worry about anything. Then now she's happy. She's more likely to stay. She's unlikely to cancel. Whereas my people, they haven't said anything. So now I'm reaching out to them, saying I want to cancel it. So just because of the fact that their lack of communication is showing no empathy, I'm like, cool. Exactly. So, but at the same time, I understand that business needs to run, and if they lose too many members, it could have a major impact. So it's a hard one. It's so hard because if you're not in the customer side, you think of this way, and if you're on the business side, you think this way. So it's hard to try and find that balance.
These are the key planning questions that I'd be asking. Okay, like what cost can you cut, and how fast can you negotiate payment terms on essential costs? So can you negotiate with any software providers, any workspaces that you're in, any partners or vendors that you work with? Can you negotiate your payment terms? Can you put things on hold, like what you just mentioned? The second question I'd think about is, what macroeconomic forces or what trends could be at play in the next 6 to 12 months' time? In other words, how is the customer behavior going to change? So for example, a lot of people are using Zoom now and have got used to doing remote meetings. That's a change in behavior. And a lot of those new people that have just started using Zoom might actually carry on using Zoom even after the crisis. Current business model makes sense in 12 to 18 months. It might not, because things are changing, you know? And then what type of products and services will still be needed in the future, which will see an increase in demand? Is it stuff that you're serving or not? You know, and all of this comes back to this, speaking to customers and understanding what are the problems that I can solve for them today, given that today we're in a different situation than when I first started my business.
Yeah, cool.
You know what I mean?
Thank you for that. Yeah. Another question I have for you is, for those working from home, I know you've written an amazing article and given a list of tools that will be of value to people working from home. Can you share some of them and why you think?
Yeah. No, I'll share all of them. So I shared a tweet a couple of weeks ago around like 10 remote tools to use when working from home. The first one was a digital whiteboard that I use when I'm doing like workshops. And I use one called Mural, which is Mural, which is like a big white canvas, and you can put Post-it notes on there, draw things and create activities so that it becomes like an interactive meeting rather than just staring at someone's face for like 60 minutes. A competitor that you can use of theirs is called Miro, which is Miro, which is a similar kind of tool. Another tool that you can use is Zoom. And Zoom you use for just having like internet conversations, like web calls, similar to Skype, similar to Microsoft Teams, similar to Google Hangouts, but just a bit of a better user experience. And it's free to use when you record. I think when you record or have a meeting up to 45 minutes, and then it's like $11.99 first plan or however many dollars. Another one's called Loom, which sounds similar to Zoom, but it's got an L instead of a Z. And Loom you can use to record your screen. So if I'm giving a presentation on like a PowerPoint or Google Slides, it will have like a circle of my face, but then it will just show the slide and you can record that. So it'd be great for like training documents, for sales presentations, for things like that, for recording a pitch. Another one I love is Canva. Oh, Canva is so good.
That's my favorite. That's actually my favorite. People are sleeping. You don't have to have no design background and experience, and you can use Canva to create logos, create your content for social media. You can use it to create flyers, PowerPoint presentations, so much.
Yeah, yeah. So
Love
you
it.
use it for creating graphic design, for socials, for content, for your Instagrams, for your presentations. That's exactly what you use Canva for. Then I use Slack a lot for communication with teams. So Slack is just a communication tools. Like I call it a professional WhatsApp with different groups or channels.
I think the great thing with Slack as well, the reason why people use it rather than just using a typical WhatsApp group is that it's just easy to retrieve information, track old
Yeah,
communications and files.
exactly. I could have like a channel that's all about interesting content, and I know that I go to that channel to look at past content that's been shared. Or I might have
Yeah,
another channel which is about intros, and that's where I can look for everyone that's joined the Slack to understand who's in the Slack channel. You know,
yeah,
um, and the good thing about Slack is it separates your personal from your professional life. So it's
yeah.
not iMessenger, it's not WhatsApp, it's not Telegram. It's a different tool that's only for work. So you can separate your professional and your personal communication. So I like that.
Cool.
Another tool that is a super tool that I love using is called Notion. And I can share links for all of this so that I can get more
Yeah, I'm
credits.
gonna add. I'll add it. Yeah, as well. Cool.
But Notion is a great tool because Notion allows you to manage your workflow, like manage work when you're working with freelancers. Like I need to show you a visual example of it, but you can do so much in it, like create blog posts, so many things that you can create in Notion, like tables, like graphics, all in one space, rather than using 4 or 5 different tools to do all of those jobs. Um, Another one is Calendly. Oh, come on, man.
Oh, okay,
Calendly.
amazing.
If you want to book a meeting with me, just get my calendar link and it'll show you the available slots because it's integrated with my calendar, and you book it without speaking to me or without speaking to a personal assistant.
Yeah,
It just makes your life easier. I love that. And then another one is called Every Time Zone. And this is a
um,
time converter. So whenever you have meetings with people in
yeah.
different time zones, it tells you what the time is in all the different time zones. So I've got London, I've got New York, I've got Singapore, I've got Cape Town, I've got Rio de
That's
Janeiro,
dope.
and I can just see the different time zones when I'm scheduling a meeting to make sure that it's at a good hour for everyone. Then obviously Google Drive. Google Drive doesn't need an introduction. You can save so much on your Google Drive and use all the Google Slides, Google Forms, Google this, Google that, all free products. And then the last one's Grammarly, man. Grammarly is so good for just correcting your grammar when
For
you're doing
people
a
like
blog
me who
post
can't
or
spell,
email.
yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
so good.
So
So
Grammarly,
good.
I
So
love it.
good.
It can actually connect to your Gmail. So when you're writing emails, it comes up with any spelling errors or grammar errors that you have. So
Exactly.
definitely highly recommend it. And it's free. Who doesn't like
It
free
is.
stuff? Well,
It
most of the
is.
tools that you've given is free. It just depends on what additional tools you want. But most of the stuff that Andy's suggested is amazing and it's free and it's worth exploring.
Yeah.
Andy, another question I would like to ask you, I'm going to put you in the spot. Is this a good time to start a business?
It just depends on what you want to start. It depends on your financial situation at the moment, and it depends if you've really got an advantage. So I always like asking founders, like, why now? Like, why are you starting your business now? And that is such an important question. And if we think about startups like Snapchat, the why now that was powerful was the fact that we just got introduced to 3G technology and 4G technology. So now internet was fast enough to allow for video conversations and video sharing. So that's why Snapchat could be born. On 2G internet, Snapchat would have been impossible. That timing didn't make sense. So
Yeah.
timing makes so much sense. Like the why now for Zoom is so strong. It's like, why would you use them now? Because we have to be at home. Why now for drone delivery companies that want to deliver packages to your door is strong, because we can't make physical contact with each other. So if a drone will fly and drop a package at my door, it's good because I don't have to make physical contact with someone dropping it at my door. So the why now is such an important question. So if you want to start a cafe right now or restaurant, not a good time. Not a good time. So the why now really matters right now if you really want to start a business. To be honest, the best thing to do right now is to plan, to speak to customers. People are more than available right now. Now's the right time to do that what I call customer development, like just speaking to customers, learning more about their problems, learning more about how you can create a solution for them. Now's a great time to develop those personal relationships with customers and really understand their problems.
If you are let's just say existing business that your main line of business is selling products, direct to consumer, DTC. This is obviously people are trying to save money. Is it a good idea to go on social media like, hey, I've got this product, buy it?
Well, to be honest, it depends on your product because some people are stockpiling, right? So I've got locks in my hair. Right now, I need a lock tool, I need a cream, I need a shampoo. I don't know how long I'm going to be at home. I might buy a lot of those products because I need it right now. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
that's actually
So
good. Home
depending on your
products are
products,
very key. Home
so it
products are going to
depends
win
on
at
the
the moment.
product. It depends on the products and how important. I'll tell you who's pissed right now and who's not in a good market. Clothing. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going out. So I don't
Yeah.
need to buy clothes right now. So right now, if you're selling clothes, it's a hard time to
But that's why
sell
there's
to
so
me
many sales. I'm noticing that there's a lot of sales with the clothes now.
because I don't need clothes because we're not even going out right now. We're in
Yeah.
self-isolation.
To be honest, I don't see this getting any better anytime soon. I think this is going to take about, if I had to predict, I think we're looking at July when things would get, where we could get to see people going back to work, things will start to normalize. But
Let me ask you a question about that actually. What things do you think, like a lot of things I think will go back to normal when we return to work, when we return to normality, but what things do you think will change and stay and stick after the coronavirus has gone and things are getting back to normality?
I think most people are going to start doing workouts. I think that's going to change. A lot of people are going to be like, do I really need to go to the gym? I've been doing home workouts for so long and I'm still keeping myself in good condition. People are going to be scared to still go out because with this virus, I'm no expert because I'm not a doctor. However, from what I can see and from what I understand, that it can still be passed on. So even though they may say it's safe to go out, people are going to still be nervous to and go out because they can still get it, even though they may survive it and stuff. They are still going to be anxious to think, okay, especially if you're someone with underlying health issues or you're an elderly person, you're going to be like, do I still want to go out, even though they've said it's safe to go out?
I think people are going to embrace using these tools like Zoom and these remote collaboration tools a lot more because once you get used to it and you use it and you like it, you'll probably continue to use it. I think some people are going to get into good habits in terms of savings and costs and managing their costs and budgeting. Because I think some people are budgeting now, they're getting into a habit of budgeting, and they say that it takes 21 days to develop a habit. So once you've developed that habit and you get out of this crisis, you realize it's actually a great thing to continue. So actually, I think people are going to manage their finances a lot more prudently going forward, which is a really good outcome.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I think people will be, because listen, even though these things happen once in a blue moon, as they say, I think people are definitely going to be better prepared for another outbreak or pandemic. So yeah, I do think you're right. People are going to think twice about the type of money they spend. Are going to be budgeting more. Funny enough, I had a joke with my friend that obviously people that are now working from home and being with their partner now, a lot of them are going to be like, take me back to work straight away. Not a lot of people can cope. They're not used to living with someone for so long. And unfortunately, yes, it's going to lead to a lot of breakups, a lot of divorces. And as I said,
it tests your relationship.
Stuff. It really does test your relationship.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, these are the conversations and the moments that you need to develop a deep relationship with someone and make a decision that this is someone I want to be with for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know?
But this is what I'm saying, Andy, something you touched on in the beginning, and it's kind of good that we're coming back to it, is around like you're home now, remembering who's important, like during these hard times, your family, spending quality time with them. And even though you've got work to do, you can't get caught up in working even harder and literally like getting stressed and that having an impact on your family that's now going to see it at the forefront. Whereas when you're away, it's less impactful, if that makes sense. But they're now going to see it and you're going to show it more and you're going to react more in ways that they may not like. So I think it's important to remember that, hey, even though work's important and you've got things to achieve and do, I think you need to also remember that the people that you love and care about.
Yeah. And in the end of the day, the truth is, like, if I'm on my deathbed and I'm about to die, I'm not there crying that I wish I could go to work one more day. I'm crying that I wish I could spend more time with my family and my loved ones. So that's the truth, man. That's the truth. What's the one thing you can't wait to do once you're back out of self-isolation?
That's actually a really good question. Shake Shack. Chick-fil-A. Food, no, I'm joking. I love my food. No, that's a very good question. What is the first thing I would do?
I think restaurants is a big one for a lot of people, though.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to go. I think there's going to be a lot of parties. I think a lot of people are going to be partying. That's for sure. A lot of people are going to be out.
That's
probably
for sure.
Be street parties.
Alcohol is going to spike in it. It's going to be like,
yeah, everyone's going to be partying. But for me, what is the first thing I want to do? Do you know what? I'm actually happy that, to be honest, I think I would just go out and just walk around the block and just put my hands in the air and I think I'll be engaging with everyone. I think that's the first thing I'll be doing. Just get, hi, how's everyone doing? It would just be good to see people's face again, seeing people smiling, seeing kids running around, seeing people on their bikes, seeing people in the park having fun, having a good time. It would just be good seeing the world coming together and smiling again. That's what will put a good smile to my face. But yes, I will be going to some of my favorite restaurants, and yes, I will be turning up. What about you?
That's amazing, man. That sounds like you'll be grateful for all these little things that really matter and make up your everyday. I'm craving to go swimming. I know it sounds like such a stupid thing to say, but I love swimming and I love being in the water, so I can't wait to swim again. I think that's one thing for sure. Apart from that, honestly, it's been such a blessing being at home with the family, and it's rare. There's an opportunity, man, that I don't take for granted, like to help my daughter develop, to watch her grow, like her
Very
making us laugh, like her spending time with both of us in this environment like this, which is rare and not often for her. So I love it, man. I'm just trying to embrace it and make the most of it while it lasts, to be honest, and trying to be optimistic and just be positive throughout this whole crisis, to be honest.
Amen, man. I love that, bro, man. That was actually a great question to end this.
I look forward to going back to church as well. I need to go back to church.
Oh my God, I need to find a church.
I need that.
I need to find a church. But yeah, gonna keep praying, staying positive. I think that's the key. Let's stay positive. Let's keep reaching out to people in need. Let's, you know what I mean? Because I think the most important thing and the thing that we don't want to do is be anxious, be stressful, because it impacts your immune system. Just subconsciously, you don't realize.
I'd love to share one more thing as well, that for those that have the privilege to be financially stable or financially abundant and really doing well, and actually this is a season that hasn't impacted them much work-wise and stuff, we need to use our privilege to address the inequalities that we're aware of. We need to try and help more. We need to be the ones to even help one or two people each, and cumulatively there's a lot of people we can impact. And I sent a tweet recently that I would love to just share as well before we close. I want everyone to be able to give permission to just switch off at night, permission to not watch the news, permission to not rush to the supermarket, permission to not work as productively, permission to be present when they're at home, and permission to just to have a break. You don't need to think about coronavirus 24/7.
I love that, bro. Amen. Make sure you don't take notes. That was amazing, brother Andy. That was a lot to take in, man. It was honestly, it's always great catching up. We'll have to do this again soon.
Up, bro.
Love, man. Right, well, bro. Peace out. I know it's late in London. Have a great evening. And yeah, we'll chat tomorrow, brother.
All right, cool, bro.